Hey friends, I built this house using only the free packs in The Sims 4. Let's check it out. So over the last couple years, the Sims team has given away several different packs for free, and I thought it'd be kind of interesting to try to build a house using all of them, especially since they're all kind of interesting styles, and I wasn't really sure if they would mix very well together. So yeah, that's what I'm doing in this video here. And if you aren't familiar, the Sims team has given away Desert Luxe, Jungle Adventure, Luxury Party Stuff, My First Pet Stuff, Romantic Garden, Backyard, and the Blooming Rooms kit most recently for free. And yeah, it's kind of an interesting mix of packs, so I thought it'd be kind of a fun build challenge. So I used all of those packs plus base game, of course, mostly because you just need base game in order to play, but it is also free, so kind of fits in. And yeah, honestly, I think the best pack of these, at least for this challenge, was Jungle Adventure. That pack came with a lot more stuff than I thought it did. Like, it's got a full kitchen, it's got bedroom furniture, kitchen stuff, or I already said kitchen, living room stuff. Yeah, just a whole bunch of different things. So this house ends up being very much Jungle Adventure inspired. And I was thinking of building it in Selvadorado, the world that came with Jungle Adventure. But I don't know, it wasn't really fitting into the lots very well. Plus the builds that were already in Selvadorado are actually pretty decent. So it felt kind of weird just bulldozing it and adding this. So yeah, I ended up building this in Oasis Springs, just one of the base game worlds. And yeah, I think it worked out well. I start on this smaller lot, kind of near where Johnny Zest lives, that little neighborhood. But I do move it later to one of the lots near the Caliente family, just because I kind of ran out of space for the backyard. And since this came with I was using the backyard stuff pack, I really wanted to use a lot of those larger items from it. So yeah, I ended up moving it a little bit later. And it just kind of fits in better, I feel, especially with like green grass. I started with green grass here, mostly just so I could see the grid when I was building, because the white lines on the orange sand color, not super great. I kind of wish they would have done something else for these desert worlds, like maybe make the lines darker or something. Seems like an accessibility issue, honestly. But I was always intending to use the desert terrain paint for this build. But when I switched it to the other lot, I ended up just going with grass because it looked better and fit in nicer. Plus, since Jungle Adventure is, obviously based on a jungle and it's very lush, it made more sense for it to be on grass anyway, with all the different plants and whatnot that came with that pack. So I think that ended up working out better anyway. But yeah, I'm just kind of figuring out the floor plan right now. This ends up being a pretty decent sized house. It could easily be 3 bedrooms. I only made 2 of the rooms bedrooms, and then this one on the first floor is really just an office, but it could easily be turned into a bedroom if you wanted to. And yeah, it's got like a separate dining area. It's got a really big kitchen, living space, and then it'll have a really large backyard when I get there. And yeah, this also had a pretty good sized bathroom on the first floor. You could easily add laundry if you wanted to. Obviously, I wasn't using the laundry day stuff pack with this one. But yeah, good size. You could definitely add that in there if you wanted to. And as much as I could, I tried to use items from the packs rather than base game. So I tried to only use base game if there wasn't an item in one of the packs that I needed. So yeah, I think all of the windows are from Jungle Adventure. I have 2 out right now. Those are from the Romantic Garden pack. Like, they randomly came with some windows. But they didn't really match the style of the rest of the house. They're a little bit too, I don't know, ornate, just the wrong style. So I think all of these ones are from Jungle Adventure. Some of the interior doors are base game ones, just since I think the only single tile door that came with Jungle Adventure was just not the right style. And honestly, it may not have even been a single tile. It may have been 2. So yeah, I didn't use that one, but yeah, just use the base game one. I think that worked out fine. And yeah, these stairs, also from Jungle Adventure, a lot of that pack throughout this build. It just has a lot of really great stuff. If you didn't end up getting it for free, I'm sorry, but it is honestly worth buying. I bought it, a long time ago when it first came out, and I used the build buy stuff quite a lot in it. I don't think I've ever actually played through the like archaeology kind of part of it. I should really do that. I bet that would be fun. But yeah, I think this build turned out pretty nice. If I do say so myself. I think the colors worked out really well. A lot of good furnishings overall. I think the main thing that I struggled with on this one was the artwork. Just since the packs that I was using didn't come with a ton, and the base game is just so limited with artwork. I don't know. That's something that really needs to be updated, I feel, in the base game, is just more artwork. I don't know. I feel like that'd be fairly easy to add in, but I don't know. I'm not a game developer, so I can't really speak to that. And I really love this back patio area. I think all the furniture is from the backyard stuff pack. Grill, I believe, is from Desert Luxe, and the fireplace is from Jungle Adventure. And I also realized, at the end, that I had accidentally used an outdoor fireplace in the living room. So you may want to switch that out, but it didn't seem to, have any negative effect. I only noticed it because it wasn't going all the way to the ceiling. So it looks like it could just be pumping smoke into your living room. But thankfully it doesn't do that in gameplay when I was testing it, so not really that big of an issue. And you can see I removed the terrain paint here. But yeah, now I have switched over to the new lot. You'll kind of tell from all the grass and everything around it. But yeah, just working on the kitchen now. And yeah, it's so nice that Jungle Adventure came with a full kitchen set, so I didn't have to use base game. And yeah, this kitchen set is actually really nice. I think it still holds up pretty well. Some of the swatches are maybe a little questionable, just for, maybe most people's homes. But yeah, I use this a little bit more neutral one, just since I was using a lot of colors in other places. So yeah, counters and cabinets ended up being a bit more neutral, but I think it turned out nice. And this kitchen is absolutely enormous. I would love a kitchen like this in my house. There was so much counter space in here. I could have added more stuff if I had access to more things. But yeah, not a ton of clutter in the base game or in the packs that I was using. So yeah, and I don't know, it was kind of nice not to completely clutter it up. So just kind of my staple items that I always use, like the coffee mugs and the paper towel holder and all of that. But yeah, I think that worked out really nicely. And yeah, here in the living room, use the sofas from Desert Luxe. I thought those looked really nice. Those were probably the nicest couches of the selection. And honestly, they're just great, overall. And yeah, I wanted to use quite a bit of color. There were a lot of very colorful pieces in the Jungle Adventure set. So yeah, used a lot of those, especially that rug. I think I used that a couple of times throughout, just in the different swatches that it came with, which was really nice. And I ended up cutting it out, but at one point I did try to put walls around that fireplace since I noticed that it was like an outdoor one. Because I think it was in The Sims 2, you could either just put the fireplace out, it would just have its whole, the chimney part would just be out, or you could put walls around it, and the mantle and the, insert part would kind of stick out of the wall, which was really nice, but it did not do that in this one, unfortunately. So yeah, that'd be a great feature for them to bring back. I think that would, kind of offer a little bit more versatility for those. And a little bit more realism, since a lot of the, fireplaces in The Sims 4, they don't have the built-in chimney part. So you just stick the mantle and insert part just on a wall, which isn't very realistic. There's nowhere to vent it. So I really liked how The Sims 2 did that. I think that made a lot of sense. And I really like build challenges like this, where it forces you to use kind of a random assortment of packs. that you might not use, at all, or like that combination. I think it kind of brings out some different creativity to find ways to get them to work together. Like I use that little side table from Blooming Rooms, kind of random, but I don't know, I think it kind of worked there. Just since I was using different side tables from Jungle Adventure and other places, which were really great, but I didn't want to use it again. So yeah, I think that worked out nicely there. And when I was building this, I had some Sims in mind that I think I ended up creating them in Create a Sim. I don't think I downloaded them off the gallery. But it's basically a grandfather and his grandson who live here by themselves. A little bit of a tragic backstory. I imagined his wife had passed, quite a few years ago, and that his son, who is his grandson's father, died in like a rodeo accident or something kind of ridiculous and horrible. I don't know why I went so dark with that, but so it's just them. You'll see them in the video tour at the end. I'll kind of walk you through that, but I was just kind of imagining them living here. I imagined the grandfather was maybe like an architect or some sort of designer for his career. He's retired, has this nice house. Maybe he's originally from Selva Dorado and has relocated here to be closer to, or to take care of his grandson and all of that. So I thought that was kind of a nice story, even if it is a bit tragic. But yeah, I think that worked out nicely. And here in the dining room, I was struggling a little bit with the wall color. I originally picked up that red, but I don't know, it's feeling like very dark and I don't know, not super great. So I switched to this lighter orange with the tile trim, and I think that just looks a bit nicer in here, a little bit brighter, a little bit maybe friendlier. And I was trying out some different heights of the curtains because, I don't know, for some reason they just weren't working for me until I just put them all the way to the side with like a bar across the top. I thought that worked out better for that. These windows are a little bit odd since there's no glass in them. They're just kind of open to the air. But I did one that was open and one that was closed just to kind of give a little bit of variation there. I ended up using a lot of plants throughout this build, just since I was using the Blooming Rooms kit, so I wanted to make sure I used as many of those as I could. At one point, I was thinking about trying to use every single item from all of the free packs, but some of the items just really would not have fit in. I'm mostly looking at you, Luxury Party Stuff, with your random assortment of things. I don't know, and very small assortment of things. Like the Luxury Party Stuff pack, what a joke. If you got it for free, that's great. Please do not pay money for that pack though. Like, yikes. They should really just downgrade that to a kit. And honestly, it doesn't even have as much stuff as kits do, which is really sad. I just really could not use every single item, at least in a way that made sense, but I did use quite a lot of the items. And now I'm doing the primary bedroom. This is for the grandfather sim that I had mentioned. And yeah, I think this one turned out nice. Used that rug again, just in a different swatch. So a lot of colors in this house, very fun and kind of energetic. This bedroom has kind of a mix of colors with this dark green wallpaper that's a little bit calmer, moodier, and then the pops of yellow that are a little bit brighter and more energetic. So I don't know, I thought that was kind of an interesting mix, and the yellow curtains or blinds or whatever tied in nicely with the bed with like the yellow pillows. So I thought that worked out well. And then it's got this really large ensuite bathroom. I decided to put the toilet kind of in its own little room. I thought that would work out nicer, especially for the floor plan, because I was struggling a bit with it. I'll move it a couple times here. But yeah, and then I went with these kind of, these bright teal fixtures. I thought that was kind of fun. I thought that tied in nicely with the tile on the paint, wallpaper, whatever. And yeah, it's nice that they matched the tile in the shower to the wallpaper options in Jungle Adventure. I thought that was a really smart move. That worked out really well for that bathroom. And then the kids' bedroom also has its own ensuite bathroom, which would be really nice. Went with a little bit more blue versus green in this one. Added a couple of these decals. I thought that would be kind of fun. And yeah, I imagine that the kids' favorite color is red, which was surprisingly difficult to find items that were red. I don't know if it's just the selection of items just don't have red swatches, or if that's a common thing across The Sims. But yeah, and I didn't want to do the red wallpaper. I thought that was just too much for a bedroom. So I did a lot of blues and greens in here as well. And since I had to use the My First Pet stuff, ended up using a lot of that in this room. Got the like gerbil, I don't know, enclosure habitat, which was actually kind of fun to play with. I was having him kind of, mess with that while I was testing things and recording the little tour at the end. Yeah, I don't think I've really ever used that item. And unfortunately, one of the gerbils actually died because it was unfed, I guess. Even though it did not tell me that it was starving until about 10 seconds before it died. So that was a little annoying. I don't know if it's because I was traveling to different lots and stuff, but yeah, that was a bit annoying. But I really liked how this bedroom turned out. I thought it was really cute. I love making kids' rooms in The Sims. They're just so much more fun than like adult bedrooms usually. So yeah, a lot of fun items that I haven't really used a lot in that room too. So yeah, I thought that worked out nicely. And then I used another one of the rugs from Jungle Adventure in that landing. I thought that made sense. And yeah, now I'm just kind of working on the exterior, I believe. I think the interior is done, other than the lighting, which I'll do at the end. But yeah, just kind of doing some different decor items out here on this front patio. Used the bench from Jungle Adventure, and I think the coffee table is from Backyard Stuff. So yeah, I think that worked out nicely. And yeah, kind of skipping ahead, I pulled out a bunch of different landscaping items, which was kind of an interesting mix. I struggled a bit to get the romantic garden stuff to tie in, both in like the world and in this lot. It's kind of the outlier, I would say. I don't know if I love how it turned out, but I think it's fine. You'll have to let me know what you think. But yeah, I imagine that maybe he built this, rose garden sort of thing in memory of his wife after she passed. Maybe she loved gardening and flowers, so he wanted to kind of do this for her, and that's maybe why it's a little bit different than the rest of the yard and the rest of the landscaping. But I don't know. I wanted it to be very bright and colorful like the rest of the house. Used a lot of different swatches on the plants. And yeah, you'll see me kind of moving things around a bit. I was very unsure about this little area. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really sure how else I could have fit this in. Would love to hear if you have any thoughts on that. But yeah, I think it's still kind of, cute. I tried to make it a little bit functional too. Like I'll put in some actual gardening pots. And I planted some different things before I uploaded it to the gallery. So there are some plants in there if you want to use those. But yeah, just kind of scattered those around and just tried to make it feel very colorful, very lush, all of that good stuff. I also made the back patio area larger, just since it was kind of a tight fit for everything when I was working on it on the original lot. And since there was more room, I just kind of stretched it out a bit, and I think that worked out much better. There's just a lot more space for Sims to walk around and all of that. And I put one of those drink trays on the table on the patio. So yeah, they can make some lemonade and all of that. And yeah, I used this sort of stone terrain paint. Wow, could not think of that. So I thought that worked out nicely, and then did some like soil to show that things are actually growing from that. Yeah, I think that worked out nicely. And I tried to use a lot of different plants and things from the surrounding world just to tie it in a bit better. So I used quite a few of these rocks. Rocks are great if you need to fill up some space in a yard, and you can easily just put some plants around it. And I don't know, it's really hard to not or to make it not look good. So yeah, little tip for you: if you just have a weird space you want to fill up, throw some rocks in there, throw some plants, little train paint, you're golden. And the backyard stuff came with the slip and slide, so of course I had to have that in there. Had to do the shark one because that's the coolest one, obviously. And yeah, I thought about doing a pool, but I was kind of thinking that would be just, I don't know, just kind of a lot. But there's plenty of space if you wanted to add a pool. You could easily just, get rid of the slip and slide or move it or whatever and put a pool back there. Certainly plenty of space for that. And oddly, the romantic garden stuff came with the like monkey bars, which is kind of an interesting choice to include in there. Maybe I'm weird, but when I think of romance and romantic gardens, I don't usually think of monkey bars. But it was nice for the child sim who's living here. He's got an activity back there, so worked out for me, I guess. But yeah, kind of an odd choice for that pack. And one thing that I was struggling with a little bit just internally was mixing these clearly very tropical plants into this desert environment. Normally you would not do that. They would require so much water. It just would not be practical in a desert. But, this is The Sims. We are just going to pretend that water is abundant, especially in this part of Oasis Springs. So it's not a drain on resources to give these plants tons of water. But yeah, very, very kind of odd. And yeah, I did some more flowers at the front. I tried to mix the romantic garden flowers with the jungle adventure ones, which I think was fine. It's kind of an interesting mix. I don't know if they necessarily go together, but we're just gonna go with it. So, if you don't like it, you can rip those out and put whatever you want there. And now I'm finishing up the build with all of the lighting and just some kind of minor details. So yeah, not a ton of lighting options from these packs, at least not that I ended up using. I really like these. I think they're technically candle chandeliers, but yeah, not very bright. So I ended up having to use a whole bunch of wall sconces, which was fine. I think it at least makes sense in a dining room. But yeah, use kind of the regular spotlights in the kitchen. I imagine, maybe that's a little bit newer. Maybe it's been remodeled or something. Use kind of an interesting mix of lighting throughout. I always try to use, a lot of table lamps and floor lamps, and then the larger one, like the overhead lighting. But if you've played The Sims for more than 10 minutes, you probably know that the table lamps are garbage, honestly, at least as far as lighting goes. Like some of them look nice, but they do not give off nearly enough light. Just not very realistic in my opinion. Like, I don't use overhead lighting hardly ever in my house. I don't want to use the big light. I use the nice ambient lights. So yeah, a little unfortunate there, but what are you gonna do? And yeah, used these lamps from Romantic Garden Stuff kind of around. Kind of an interesting style. I don't know if it matches super well, but they were really bright, so that was nice. Yeah, just jumping into the tour now. I love these Sims. I played with this family for quite a while. I thought they were really cute. I made them very close. They had a close dynamic, which was really great. And yeah, I don't know. I like how the spaces turned out overall. I think, you can make these packs work pretty well together. It'd be interesting to maybe do a commercial lot of some sort with all of these packs. I'm not really sure what that would be. But yeah, might be something to think about there. You'll have to let me know if you'd be interested in seeing something like that. And since these Sims didn't have any relationships, I ended up just creating a couple of clubs for each of them. So I created one with like elders, so we'd have like someone to play cards with here, which I thought was really nice. And then of course the welcome wagon came over while I was play testing, so they're kind of hanging out. And yeah, I think the spaces worked really well. All the Sims were able to get around and all of that. And love the slip and slide. That was a really fun part on here. And I love that he was covered in suds for like 2 hours after he used it with soap. I thought that was really funny. But that is pretty much going to wrap it up for me. I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. That helps a lot. And subscribe if you'd like to see more. And check out one of the videos on the screen right now. Thanks again. Have a fantastic day.